So I was doing some thinking, right? I'm sitting here, I'm
Yeah.
thinking, a long
I
weekend of
was not.
racing,
I was not thinking this past
and
weekend.
I I wanted to ask you about something that you pioneered, Matt. And it's the
Oh
Steelman
God.
line.
Oh.
Oh, oh boy. Here we go.
When did that start? I think it was we were just like fun racing at Talladega, and because we were junior lining, and then I was like doing the opposite where like we would come off to at Talladega, and I would drive it all the way down to the inside wall. Or no, it was Pocono. That's what it was. It was season 3 at Pocono. Um, and it was the same thing where everybody spreads out, and I would just run literally inches from the inside wall down the front stretch every single time, and that just became the Steelman line.
I mean, I think Josef Newgarden was trying to take some.
He took it to the extreme.
Yeah, he almost Steelman lined himself up.
I
It
love
was shish
the.
kebab.
Oh my god! I wish I could remember who tweeted it, but it was both of them down on pit entry, and it just said 4 tires and fuel. I don't know. It's really funny.
But we don't have a lot of time for cold open this week because, boy howdy, a lot has happened this weekend.
A few things.
So let's
Oh, not just this weekend, even up to today.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
See, the bright side of podcasting on a Tuesday. NASCAR penalty reports.
Yeah, when everything got delayed to 24 hours ago,
Listen.
almost exactly.
Listen, hey, it worked out.
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
We don't have to be like, oh, what will NASCAR do? Ooh.
Yeah, we don't have to be angry. It's like everything. For once, everything seems like all right.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's just start off because I mean we mentioned it there. Josef Newgarden, I mean, delivers Roger Penske's 19th Indianapolis 500, 19th Borg Warner. I don't know. I was happy. I know I'm a little biased there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely bias, but I think it's hard to not be happy for Josef Newgarden. I've been a pretty decent supporter of Josef Newgarden. I kind of lost my way a little bit with him when he joined Penske. It just kind of like the magic wasn't there for me anymore. But I still love seeing him succeed, and I did think that he was a driver that he was destined to get an Indy 500 someday, right?
Yeah.
So it was really cool to see him win, and he had probably the coolest victory celebration at the 500 that I've ever seen. It was awesome, really cool.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Like I liked him a lot when he was driving for he drove for Ed Carpenter, and I was like, oh, sick. And then
Sarah Fisher Hartman.
Yeah, and then he went to Penske, and I was like, oh, but I don't dislike it. I'm just kind of neutral on him. I think he's a cool dude. And so the finish, I was like, oh, all right. And then the celebration, I kind of flipped, and I was like, all right, no, this is pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, 100%.
So you could tell it really meant something, obviously.
Yeah, you could tell that it was the same dude that it was the same dude I had liked before. He has all the right in the world to be emotional right now, and Roger Penske can't smack him back down into his corporate race car driver hole.
Oh my gosh!
Trying to find the lie and I can't find it. No. No, and that's just a Roger Penske thing, right? Like,
yeah. I mean,
Penske
you're gonna
things.
get that. You're gonna get that.
Tames him down a little bit.
But
What
it's
owner
cool to see
doesn't
that
though?
It's still there. I mean, like
What?
Trackhouse or 2311.
Okay, but what like top tier for a long time owner isn't doing that, unfortunately.
To an extent. But that's just because Kyle Busch was probably a handful to deal with. So
Yeah.
Yeah, the Newgarden celebration was really cool, right? Like I think that icing on the cake. But controversial red flags has to. There were a couple there at the end, right? The last one, obviously, to set us up for a 1 lap dash. Wild, crazy.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bug on my screen now. It is no longer a bug; it's dead.
Dynamite.
Like Marcus Ericsson had some comments about it. I don't have the comments in front of me. I just know they were a little coming from a place of probably anger and frustration. That was a little unprecedented.
A TLDR of it, he was like, "Yeah, we didn't even have a lap to like warm up our tires," and kind of was a joke. Which, like, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
You just lost the Indy 500. That sucks. obviously he's going to be mad. I'm not going to.
Paying the price
You
for
know,
a sponsor not selling the product in this country. That's what I'm thinking.
I was ready to crack open a Victory Husky too.
That's
What was
awesome.
I gonna say? Oh my god, I just lost my train of thought though. The only thing I would have to say about that is like, I get it, but at the same time, it's not like he was at a disadvantage because everybody else was in the same situation that he was.
Yeah.
It just stinks that it had to come down to one lap. It would have been more fun to watch one of those longer battles run out, but like, I can't remember who I was talking to about this, but it's like, I agree that in the Indy 500 shouldn't have green white checkers. I think they're kind of a mess. NASCAR and ARCA for the last decade have shown that. But at the same time, if they're not going to do that, then if we can get a green flag finish, let's do it. So I don't know.
Yeah, I enjoy the idea of trying to get a green flag finish. Obviously, as a race fan, in a race like that was shaping up to be as good as it was, it was a bummer enough when we got that caution at the end, and it was like, okay, well, I mean, we'll wreck them, it'll be a good finish, and then to not only not have like that long run to the finish, but then they have the restart and they wreck before they get to the line.
That was frustrating.
Yeah,
Even
that was
more of a bummer.
It basically would have been like 100-yard dash determined the Indy 500, which would have stunk.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, like a lot of people are looking at that last red flag as an isolated thing. Like, oh, they threw the red flag and there was a 1-lap dash, and like, that's where the story starts. It doesn't start there. It starts with that crash before the start finish line. I think that added makes me feel more okay about the red flag coming out. Just because that sucks. That sucks.
It especially sucks too because there was a lead change in that time. Like, Josef Newgarden had literally no time to defend his lead, and it's like that's how it's really going to end. So, and yeah, I'm definitely in the same boat. Like, if it would have been like 2 years ago when Sato won, where we ran the whole race and then had a caution right at the end, I was like, yeah, don't red flag it. It's
exactly.
2 laps. We've run 490 something miles already. Like, if somebody was going to catch Sato, they were going to do it by then.
Right. Exactly. I agree with that.
So to your guys' point, does precedent won't matter in the future? It won't be, hey, we get a caution with 3 to go, we're going to red flag it.
Has precedent ever mattered?
I'm asking you.
Ever.
I'm asking you.
I don't think it matters.
It will matter later in the episode. I know that.
Yeah, but we all would agree that that's rare.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
We would all agree that that's rare. I think precedent matters to an extent. I think that you can't. This is tough because there's going to be like, I would say like, oh, the purist in me feels like this. The purist in me doesn't feel anything. I don't have that in me. I want racing to evolve and become a sport that people can pick up 10, 20, 30 years from now. If that means that NASCAR has to have green, white checkers, and NASCAR has to have green, white checkers. There's some things I still disagree with, of course, but whatever racing has to do to stay relevant, to keep a good show, to not push people away, to not end on a wet fart of 2 cautions, 1 happening before the start finish line and that deciding the race where we run the last like 10 laps under caught. Like, I'm okay with that sort of thing. I know that's unpopular. I know IndyCar fans love the tradition. They love the pure racing. The purists are in full force in IndyCar fanhood. There's a lot of angry IndyCar fans, and I get it. I understand. But at the same time, what an absolute wet fart, stinky doo-doo it would have been if it ended the way that it was about to end on Sunday.
Yeah.
Like, no one would be happy about it. And I'm sure fans would still come out, but like, we're trying to, and IndyCar's trying to build something. Roger Penske's trying to build something. I don't think you retain a lot of people when it's just like, oh, so it's over. Oh, okay, no, they're going back. Oh, it's over again. Oh, oh, okay. Well, all right, let's go sit in traffic for an hour. Anyway, that's kind of my take on it.
Yeah, I think you do kind of open Pandora's box a little bit with this, because now you're gonna have people be like, "Oh, we red flagged it there. Why not here?" I think in some cases it is okay to kind of go common sense about it. Like the 2011 New Hampshire race comes to mind, where they restarted it in the rain and wrecked half the field on literally out of turn 4, and then IndyCar was like, "You know what? Forget it. That didn't happen. We're rolling it back and race is over. Just wipe that off from the results. Don't worry about it. That was our fault.
Our bad, guys.
Yeah,
Our
we
bad.
messed up.
Cost you millions
Don't have
of
to flip us
dollars.
off again, willpower. It's okay." So,
Okay.
yeah, wouldn't be a big race in the last few years if there wasn't a lot of discussion about officiating at the end of it. So,
Let's also not suddenly clutch our pearls at IndyCar officiating, by the way.
Yeah.
It's not like IndyCar officiating hasn't been a tragic mess for 20 years.
Well,
yeah.
I feel like it's at least more consistent the last 5 years.
Sort of. I mean,
3.
it's more consistent, yes, I would say, outside of the Indy 500. There's still some, like, we don't know what we're doing moments.
yeah.
You know?
Also, I have a bone to pick with people that I saw online of people saying that the one lap shootout was dangerous. Do you really have that little faith in some of the best race car drivers in
Yes.
the world that they
It's not little faith in their ability, it's little faith in their brains and adrenaline, and this is the Indianapolis 500 and I want to win it and I'm going to do it at all costs. I mean, you had Santino Ferrucci on the radio saying he doesn't care, he's not going to lift.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, they're race car drivers at the end of the day are a danger to themselves more than anyone else.
Whether people admit it or not.
And that's
that's fair.
part of the accepted risk, right? It's not something to be like, oh, it's not safe. Because, every lap isn't safe at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Doesn't matter if it's qualifying or the race. Doesn't mean 199 versus 3. Both dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair.
Even be practice. We had a tire leave the racetrack. I haven't really heard a lot on this. Outside of, holy crap, we got lucky. Got stories from my dad. My dad was there in, I think it was 98, when somebody a group of spectators got killed by a tire going into the stands. He was also there in like 78 when a car like engulfed in flames off turn 4. Anyways, tire left the racetrack. We got lucky.
Oh yeah.
I froze
Yep.
when I saw that on the broadcast. Like cold sweats immediately because I couldn't tell where it went, but I saw it flying up. Like that was I haven't felt that way watching a race since Larson almost went into the stands in 2013 at Daytona, which like a lot of people forget how bad that was and how many people were hurt and how bad the injuries were. Like if you haven't seen some of the pretty brutal images, they are brutal, but like it's not good. People
There's a couple of fan videos from the stands that are they're not a good time. I can say that for sure. I had the kind of opposite reaction where I was watching the tire live and I saw it just like shoot into the abyss between the tower and the stands, and I was like, "Oh, thank God!" And then then the camera cuts and Kyle Kirkwood's upside down, and I was like, "What happened?"
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was not watching the
car.
racetrack.
Yeah.
No, I was watching the damn tire.
Yeah, that just like a perfect circumstance where it flew through there, hit some lady's car, and then landed on the golf course across the street. It was just insane.
Yeah. Obviously that's going to be something that's looked into because the tethers that keep those wheels and tires locked to the tub, they're not supposed to do that, right?
Yeah.
Apparently the tether didn't shear, but like maybe one of the anchors did, like where it's anchored to the car broke instead.
That makes sense. That's scary though.
That is scary.
Yeah.
Because that's probably welded on.
Yeah. The tethers did a great job, unfortunately.
Yeah. The funny thing about that too is I was showing that to one of my friends who isn't a racing fan, and I was explaining how there's tethers, and it's like you see the wheel fly off, and then the next shot is Kirkwood, and 3 of his wheels are flopping around on the tethers. I'm like, see, that was supposed to do that, but it didn't. 3 of them worked. So,
yeah, I mean, and it was like worst case scenario too. The way the car hit, like the very sturdy part of the side pod. I mean, it was almost like immovable or unsolvable object hits unmovable wall, whatever the hell it is.
And that was the one where Rosenquist hit the wall, right? And he was slow, and I think Kirkwood like ran into him because Rosenquist had lost control of his car because he broke something.
Yeah,
on the
broke a lot of things. Yeah.
Take note, Chase Elliott.
We'll get there.
Oh, God.
I am Bubba because Bubba said the same thing last year.
We'll get there.
Yeah, it's just like perfect example of worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Which, like, luckily nobody got hurt, and the lady whose car got destroyed got a pretty cool VIP treatment out of it.
Oh yeah, because they don't want her suing the track.
It's something, all right.
They're probably taking care of it. Roger's probably taking care of it.
Oh, they're buying her a new car, probably.
Oh, absolutely.
I would think they're buying her a new car.
Yeah.
Did you guys see?
She was driving a Chevy, right? Or even if it was a rental, take care of the rental fee, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys see the video of the first guy like filming it on scene? And so he's like filming the car in his golf cart, and like security's like, "Get back, everybody, get back!" And he's like, Can I check my truck real quick just to be safe?" Like trying to find an excuse to get up close to the car.
The damn yellow shirts at India.
Dude, really they are crazy.
They are.
Some of them are really nice, though. To be fair, like some of the ones I had interactions with were really nice.
I don't hear good things.
But then some of them were like taking their job way too seriously. It was like, whoa, bro.
My headcanon is they're like the royal guards that like they're just completely stoic, and then if you touch them, they just start screaming at you.
I still remember the one when we were like walking up, like, "Hey, is this the right grandstand?" Looked at my ticket, and he's like, "Yeah, I think so. Go ahead, go up." It's like, okay,
sure, yeah.
I mean, it was a NASCAR weekend, so it's not like the place was sold out or anything.
He's like. He like looks at the thing. He's like,
"Dude,
looks right."
I have a really good story of security also not doing their job, but it's completely off topic. If you guys want to hear it,
yeah, go for it.
So last year on Christmas Eve, my roommate was catching like a overnight flight to go down to LA to spend it with his girlfriend and her family, and so we were like having dinner at our friend's house. And his flight initially got canceled, and then his mother-in-law just bought him a new flight on a whim. Like, and it was like, "Oh, it leaves in 40 minutes." And so then we're like midway through dinner, so we're like, "Okay, we gotta go." And then my roommate spilled water all over himself, and then accidentally set his napkin on fire.
Okay, well, gloss over that. What
the? There's candles on the table. He set his napkin down. It caught on fire. So we just hurried to the airport and got him there. And when he went through TSA, he forgot he had his weed vape on him. And so the lady like checking his bag is like, "Is this, sir, what is this?" And he's like, "Oh, it's a vape." And she was just like, "Happy holidays." And just gave it back to him and let him take it on the plane. She's like, "It's Christmas Eve. I don't care. Get on your flight."
You look like a nice boy.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude.
I don't even have a transition for that. So AJ Foyt Racing had a good day. Well, the 14 did. The 55, I think, wrecked one of those in that like last big melee. But good job, Santino. You didn't do anything crazy. We were all thinking you were going to do something, but you didn't.
Yeah. This crew member made a pretty cool save. That was
yes.
Cool.
How about that argument between Townsend Bell and James Hinchcliffe?
So okay,
they were arguing the same thing. I
got intel from the Dale Jr. download.
Okay,
Dale Jr. was working like that broadcast, obviously. Right. He let it slip that Townsend Bell actually just likes to rile up James Hinchcliffe. So that's the only reason
They were
that
having
he
an
was.
argument.
That's the only reason he was like big on Santino Ferrucci, because he knows Hinch hates him.
I was gonna say, I know Hinch is not a fan of Santino because he had to race him.
He knows Hinch hates him, and so Townsend Bell was just like riling James up the whole broadcast on purpose,
Oh
just to
my
get
God.
him, just to get a rise out of him. And I thought that was very funny. I was like, that explains so much, because like there's no reason for Townsend Bell to like Santino Ferrucci that much, and like James Hinchcliffe is getting mad.
He was
Like,
mad. No, Townsend, it went over the line. Look. I don't know. It's
and it clearly did. Like, it was so obvious. Oh my god, it was very funny. Very
listen, the IndyCar booth, I saw a lot of people talking about like the announcing booths over the weekend, and I get why. I'm not a big fan of the F1 with the way they call their races, because they have to be over sensualized because it's a good product.
funny.
It's not. A lot of times it's
Yeah.
not. Like, it's okay to say. Still appreciate it for what it is. But I think the IndyCar guys, they do such a good job of like really pacing a broadcast. And also you can tell that they like each other. Right?
Usually, yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe not anymore.
Yeah.
Might be
I
be
think-
fun to listen to Hinch's podcast this week.
Yeah. I think Lee Diffie is instrumental in that. Lee Diffie is always really good.
I'm mad because the one time he called a NASCAR race, it was at MIS, so I've never watched
Oh
it.
yeah. Dude,
was pretty good.
I forgot that clip showed up on my feed. That call is electric. Oh my god, Lee Diffie is so good.
He's good.
Yeah.
Have him call a Daytona 500 one year.
Oh my god, I'd be so down
Just
for that.
the way he like sets up a scene without setting it up. Like he
Mhm.
just like he puts you in a moment so well. It's really
Mhm.
good.
Yeah, they have him do like 3 Supercross races a year, and he's fantastic every single time. And I'm like, man, nothing against Jason Wygant, but like, come on, it's Lee Diffie. I want him more. Yeah.
Also wanted to talk about, because Alex Palou and Renus VK, they were class of the field early on in the race. And they had a little collision on pit road.
Just a little bit.
Palou was able to
Little.
rebound.
I think VK still finished top 10 though.
I'm
think they
I'm
both,
just wondering when VK
rebounded.
can actually put one of these races together.
Yeah.
I mean, same thing with
That's a good
Palou, I
question.
guess, because they've both been fast the last 3 years.
yeah.
I mean, Palou should have won it last year, but I think he sped on pit road. That sound right? He had some kind
I
of
don't
penalty.
remember, man.
Late in the race, because he was the best. He was the best car for Ganassi
Yeah.
last year. But I don't know. I just wanted to bring it up. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts. Probably not. I feel like we're all indied out now.
A little bit. Yeah, VK did rebound to 10th.
Okay.
And Palou to 4th. Yep.
And then Indy Oval stuff sounds like NASCAR Cup Series might be going back to the Oval next year, supposedly.
Yeah, I saw that earlier.
That'd be pretty cool. I'd be okay with that. You're back. All right, you want to go to the World 600?
Let's do it.
All right, Ryan
Yes.
Blaney, YRB.
Hey.
Who isn't so young anymore? He finally wins 59 race winless streak, because you don't count non-points events like the All-Star race or the duels. Blaney finally breaks that streak, longest winless streak of his career, I believe.
Yeah, because he won consecutively, like every year from his first win.
From his
so,
rookie year.
Yeah.
Thought it was interesting to hear his interview, kind of being like, I didn't know if I was going to win again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of struck me, because I don't think we ever doubted that he'd win again, right?
Yeah. No, I don't think of anyone who really doubted that he would never win again. But that's not really, when you're a driver, and especially like the discourse that's been happening over the last year or so with Ryan Blaney, especially. Not even just the discourse. I mean, he is like exact. I mean, he wins stages and then he doesn't win a race, or he does this XYZ, can't finish it out. It's been the case for a long time. His career has kind of been plagued by the same sort of patterns, over the course of races
Mhm.
in the Cup Series. And he hears that. He's not that's not something that just happens on Twitter and he's immune to it. He sees that. He's hip. He knows, and it was really cool to see him get emotional about how that made him feel, about how winning made him feel. I think if he uses this correctly, this sort of confidence can really lead him to better finishes, to better races, to even just closing out races. Maybe that he had a top 20 car turns it into a top 10 car. Like this is a race like that, a moment like that, that sort of watershed moment is really important to get as a driver because it just opens you up to so much more confidence in yourself, belief in your moves, conviction behind the way you drive, and I wish him the best because he was definitely more emotional than I've ever seen him in any capacity, let alone winning a race.
Yeah, and you kind of saw everybody talking about it where like this is the first time in his career he's put a whole race together. Like almost every single win he's ever had. And this is not to take anything away from Ryan Blaney, but it's all been ones where he came alive at the end or he takes advantage of somebody's misfortune or whatever. But the stat was he was, I think, 0 for 11 on races where he led 100 laps. They had converted none of them into wins. Like that was basically the same stat that Kyle Larson had when he showed up to Hendrick. And we all remember the choker label that he had for years with that. So like something like that, it can be the first building block to Ryan Blaney finally becoming the driver that everybody's been saying he can be for years. Because I think everybody agrees that the talent's always been there. Like we've seen it. It's just like a mixture of bad luck or he makes mistakes or the team makes mistakes at the end or they just don't keep up with adjustments. Just like for whatever reason, they've never been able to close one of these out until tonight. And then they were able to just kind of put on an ass whooping at the end of it, which is kind of a big deal.
Very big deal. I mean, I hate to harp on, this is the first time Penske's won the 500 and the 600 in the same weekend. Fortunately, it wasn't the same day, but whatever. So that's a big deal. And just as you said, able to actually dominate and win. I remember I was at his Michigan win in 2021. Had no right winning that race. The Atlanta win came out of nowhere there at the end. He had a strong car in the spring, but wasn't as strong in the summer race there. And then of course Daytona, he won that year. No one ever really dominates Daytona. So yeah, they're finally able to put a whole one together. Like you said, hopefully this is where you can kind of take that and use it. Driver that had been putting a lot of races together and unfortunately made a mistake was Denny Hamlin. Car got tight on or loose on him off of turn 4. Tight. Okay.
Yeah. You could see the exhaust.
Yeah.
He lifted on corner exit trying to not, but he did anyway.
Then Chase Elliott got in the wall, and then Chase Elliott decided to hook a left.
No, it broke.
Oh yeah, that's why
car broke.
That's why he turned
Brad
the wheel.
turned him, didn't you guys know?
Dude, I thought Brad turned him at first. I'm like, there's no way Chase Elliott would do that. You think Chase Elliott would have more respect growing up in the sport or something?
I was like, as soon as I can't, I don't know why my snap sucked just now. But as soon as I saw it, I was on it. He hooked him.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I cannot believe that he hooked him. I was like out loud saying this. Like I was like, I cannot believe that just happened. And everyone was still kind of doubtful. I'm like, no, there's no way. He turned the hell out of him. He wrecked him. And not just wrecked him. He like stuffed him. That was bad.
Straight up junked him. Yeah.
That is bad.
It was not good.
Yeah. No.
Even as like the show's dedicated Denny Hamlin hater, I was like, come on, man. Like what the hell?
Yeah. Can't be doing that. It was really weird. It's like because I've never seen the front of a next gen junked so bad. It was really like bent to hell and busted up. But it's
a good thing.
It's a good thing. Yeah, no, very good thing.
Yeah.
It's just we haven't seen it a lot. You know what I mean? And man, to show the replay, I could not believe it.
Could not believe how hard he hit that wall.
The in car was brutal to watch too. I saw a lot of people get really like concerned about that. I mean, he hit the wall real hard, and the Hans is gonna do something, but like the Hans also isn't gonna keep your head completely stationary where you can't move, because then your brain detaches from the stem and smacks your eyeballs. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Smacks your eyeballs.
there's supposed to be a little bit of movement at some point.
Yeah.
That's why concussions happen.
Yep.
Because that's obviously the rear of the cars was too stiff, but like part of it also is just, the way the seats are. If you hit in the rear, the way your head moves, the only thing that moves is your brain. So anyway, still a big hit. Denny was saying his neck was hurting.
Oh, dude, I bet. I mean, yeah. Even if it's mostly safe, like, it still doesn't have to feel good.
Oh, yeah.
And like the worst part about it too is, like, we've talked about the same thing. Carson Hocevar last year, prime example. You can at least make the excuse that Carson Hocevar is a 19-year-old kid, right? Like, we've all I can think of all the dumb stuff I did when I was 19, and they were definitely not giving me an 800 horsepower race car to mess around with. But like, if you're Chase Elliott, what's your excuse? You're a Cup champion. Like, that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
And
you're literally the face of the sport. You're the most popular driver. What is that? Like,
not even a year off of making these big sweeping complaints about the next gen car and the safety of the next gen car, and how it's unacceptable that we move backwards. Not even a year removed from that, he is like junking the hell out of someone on purpose.
Yeah. Not even a year removed from it happening to his teammate, And that was a huge deal when it happened.
Yep.
Oh, we know why it was a huge deal.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, but at the same time, like, that incident looked really bad on camera.
Yeah. Like, it should be a huge deal.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like,
but this one should also be a huge deal, and it's a huge deal for the wrong reason, because people are upset with the outcome.
Yeah.
I mean, have you taken a look at any of the posts from NASCAR announcing the penalty, announcing the suspension? Oh, Denny Hamlin throws a little tantrum and gets Chase suspended. He should take Bubba Wallace with him, and they should both leave the sport.
I did see one really funny comment, though. It unfortunately was a reply to a bad comment that was like, "Oh, this is ridiculous, and Denny should be the one getting suspended because blah blah blah." Whatever reasoning they came up with. The first reply that had like 5 times the likes as the original comment that it was replying to said, "You, my good sir, are deranged." I about died. Every once in a while you find a gem in the NASCAR comment section.
What about Denny intentionally wrecking Ross?
Oh my god.
Where's the penalty for that?
Well, he got a penalty.
Why did he get suspended a race? I don't know. Maybe because he didn't hook somebody into the wall and completely take them out of the race. I don't know. Maybe there are levels to this.
Didn't try putting somebody in the hospital, basically. So
yeah, pretty sure Denny Hamlin's the last guy that's going to do that too. Honestly, love him or hate him, he's been in the hospital because someone decided to be a little d-bag. So
careful, Joe. The language, that's fruity.
All right, Joey Logano.
Actually, hang on, because I'm pretty sure Denny tried to right rear Logano in that crash. Now that I think about it,
he might have. I don't know. Listen.
Oh, he did.
All right.
Well, he learned his lesson, obviously.
Anyways, the hard way. But point being, and I said it earlier, race car drivers are their own worst enemies. Chase Elliott lost his cool. Champion of the sport shouldn't lose. A Cup Series driver should not lose their cool in that moment. I get it, Chase. It's been a frustrating year. It sucks that you got hurt and you missed a lot of the race, and now you are struggling to compete with your 2 teammates. That's got to weigh on him, right? The 9 car has not been as quick as the 24. It has not been as quick as the 5. Heck, 48s. Alex Bowman had a pretty good run this weekend, all things considered. He has a broken freaking back.
He's been like ultra consistent too when he's been in the car.
Exactly. So that's got to be frustrating. And then, you're running in the top 10. That's got to be frustrating to be involved in an incident, right? But you can't do that. You can't. It's not safe.
But it's just dumb. Like, what do you think the end result of that's going to be? Like,
It was
do you really think?
disappointing.
Yeah, like, do you not think you're going to also end up in the wall doing that? Like, man, this guy squeezed me in the wall, so it's time to just end both of our races right now. It's just stupid.
My team might be able to fix the damage. I might not actually be that. Like, I'm not even going to give my team the opportunity to fix it.
Yeah. I mean, it was a prime example. It was a tweet that I had to take down because you can guess the kind of people that jumped on board with it. But it was when it happened at Kansas last year, and I was comparing
Vegas.
Or Vegas, yeah. When Josh Berry got run into the fence off of 4, guess what? He kept his cool and he won the race. And then when Bubba Wallace got run into the fence, he junked himself and Kyle Larson. And I was like, which one of those seems like the better option? And it's like, yes, I understand that race car drivers can lose their cool. They're fired up. But Chase, this is why you're paid millions of dollars to drive a car with a giant Napa logo on the hood, is because you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to be different than all of the mouth breathers who race in our and iRacing online. You're supposed to make the good decisions.
You are a professional. You are meant to be a professional. There's no other way of putting it. And it's unfortunate. Yeah. And of course, the bastard gets suspended and another right rear gets put in the damn 7 car. Unreal.
So Corey LaJoie is going to be in the 9 this weekend.
Which, completely out of nowhere, by the way. Pretty awesome.
It was crazy. Corey's like, yeah, I don't think Chase should be suspended. That was weird. That was a weird comment from him. Oh, it was completely different than what happened with Bubba. Weird.
I was saying it was 100% Corey found out that he was going to be driving the 9 right before they went on air and was like, all right, I got to do PR here because I can't be like, yeah, what an idiot. He should totally be parked. Anyway, I'm driving his car this week.
Corey LaJoie is in that interview. He's like, yeah, I already planned lunch with him on Sunday on Saturday in Sonoma. We're going to a winery, hanging out with Chase. Oh shit. Oh well,
Sorry.
Who cares? Damn it.
Close enough.
Why? Isn't Sonoma soon, right?
It's the next week. So I guess maybe when Corey wins the race this weekend, it makes Chase feel even worse about how he's been doing. Yeah.
Damn.
Because remember, this was the race where Chase all of a sudden had beef with Ross from last year.
1 year, baby.
It's the race where everybody had beef with Ross. Let's be real.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Let's not pin it on one guy.
I made a video about it. Go check it out. It's got a lot of views.
Actually, it's really funny to think about that the beef was between Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin, the two people who were tag teaming Ross Chastain a year ago, and now they're fighting with each other. So
yeah, they were Eiffel Towering Ross Chastain.
Not that kind of tag team. I'm using the wrestling analogy.
What?
Joe, you're literally a wrestling fan. Don't make that friggin' face.
Mile and a Half Racing at Charlotte is back.
It is.
Dude, yeah, it was great.
Bye-bye Roval next year?
No,
okay.
Don't do that.
Right. Fair enough.
In my opinion. We have something good with the Roval. It is unique, and it's a thing that Charlotte does, and why are we trying to get rid of it? I don't understand why we're trying to get rid of it. What's the problem? The drivers are all butthurt about we gotta drive in the parking lot. Brother, deal with it.
I like it. I heard that on. I was like,
what do you mean drive in the parking lot?
They put a lot of money into that to make it like a really good course.
You drove on the old Atlanta. That was glorified dirt. That was hard dirt with ruts. Shut up. Deal with it.
Do we take anything out of this weekend? Ford resurgence. I mean, the Fords were good. RFK was good. The 12 was good. The 22 was up there at some point, but he really wasn't good. It's just Joey Logano can somehow get a good stage finish. Harvick was good later in the race. I think Preece ended up with a top 10.
11th.
Ah, sorry.
He was close.
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. The Fords were good. I think it's hard to kind of rest on that sort of performance, given the 600's proclivity for surprise performances and winners. But it is a good sign. It is a good sign.
The front row cars are really fast too. Zane Smith got a top 10.
Yep.
It's funny that we're talking about the Fords because it looked like a Stewart-Haas disaster class to start.
It was
It was bad.
Oh, the
Bad.
14 still didn't do well, right?
He finished 20th.
Okay, so that was better than the 36th
That's
he was
about
running.
20
the first
spots better than he was
150
running.
laps.
Yeah. Funnily enough, one spot ahead of Logano.
Yeah, all the Storehouse cars were like down and out at one point. It was bad.
What's their problem? Like, realistically, what's their problem?
I think they said that they missed it in the sim. All of the cars had
Okay,
the
but
same.
I mean, like,
handling
every
issues.
week.
I mean, if they're missing it in the sim once, maybe they're missing it a little bit less every other week. I don't know. Because I mean, they have all the ingredients to be a fast race team.
We think.
Kevin Harvick's still running decently well, but that's also Kevin Harvick. And say what you will about Kevin Harvick, blah blah blah. He's washed whatever. No, Kevin Harvick has been having a pretty good season.
Oh,
And
yeah.
could
He's top
easily
5
have
in
a few
points.
race wins. Yeah. And he'll probably get a win before the season's over.
You ever notice the people that are like, oh, the playoffs sucks, are also the people that say the guys that are really good in points aren't having good years because they're not winning? Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah.
That's really funny, and I have not noticed that until you said it just now.
Yeah. Now you're thinking. You're like,
Yeah.
huh. Like,
Yeah,
oh
I
yeah,
like
Ryan
it
Blaney's had an
standards.
awful year. Awful year. He's 1 point back of Ross. Ross Chastain can't win a race. Awful year. He's awful this year. He's the points leader.
It's almost like everyone has these big problems with these things because there are these things and not because of what's actually happening, because of the things.
It's crazy. Alex
How was
Bowman's
Brad
still
Keselowski 9th in points?
because RFK
Kinda
has been
proving the
really good
point.
this year.
Yeah. What did I miss?
Kind of proving the point.
Both RFK cars are top 12.
Alex Bowman is still 16th in points.
Oh my god, he is.
Oh my god.
He's ahead of Briscoe, Gibbs, and Suarez.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Suarez has been sneakily having not a very good year.
No. Well, okay, so Suarez is kind of like the same. He's at the same point where he was last year, I feel like. I feel like he was kind of in the bubble all last year, and then he won at Sonoma, and then it was like, oh man, he's having a great year. He won a race. It's like, that's not how that works, but okay.
Yeah. Even last year, I think he was.
They were
Like,
better.
I feel like he was faster than Ross in the 600 last year.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Oh,
he
yeah.
had better speed. I don't know what is missing this season.
Yeah, they were running about top 20 every week, and I mean, he had a stretch of 5
Chevy
races.
pulled some of their funding because of Ross.
Oh jeez.
Ross wrecked Chase at Phoenix. Pull some of the funding.
You know, it's
almost
funny
like
you
should
say that.
fund the good race car drivers.
It's funny you say that, but I'm looking at Suarez's finishes this year. It's 7th, 4th, 10th, 22nd at Phoenix, and then he has 4 straight finishes of 23rd or worse. I'm just saying. Yeah. What else happened in the Coke 600 that I was going to talk about? Ricky Stenhouse had an awesome run. Nearly threw it away because he and Kyle Busch were beefing at the end of it.
That was really good racing.
Oh,
though.
Eric Almirola pushed Bubba Wallace on pit road.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I don't know if they showed it on TV. I saw
they
someone.
did. They ended
okay,
up showing
they
it
did.
on TV.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why Eric Almirola suddenly thinks he's a big bad guy.
I don't
know.
Dude,
It started on track, and then they just like kept like yelling at each other, and then walking away, and then just walking right back to each other and yelling at each other again. It was like, all right, you guys, we're like 100 miles in. You got
20
a lot more to go.
2311 got 2 top 5s
Oh yeah,
again.
very fast.
Reddick
23-11
tried
is
another-
fast, man.
Reddick tried another pass in the grass at the finish.
Jesus.
Oh yeah, but the Stenhouse Kyle Busch thing. Here's how you do it, Chase. Because Kyle Busch ran Stenhouse into the fence, and then the next time around, Stenhouse hooked Kyle off of 4, but he hooked him to the inside, not the outside wall. And then Kyle saved it, and they just kept on going. And they're like, "All right, cool, we're
Yeah,
even
but
now."
we still shouldn't be advocating for people hooking each other.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was straight up just a pass in the grass reenactment. It was crazy.
Pass in the turf.
Yep. What else happened? Oh, AJ Allmendinger rebounded to a top 15. How about that?
Good
Oh,
call.
nice.
He had a good run. Wow.
job.
Yeah,
around.
14th and 15th.
Damn.
Next week's winner, Corey LaJoy, got a top 20. That's pretty cool.
Dude, if he wins, I'm going to be so toxic next week.
He's just gonna run right up to the the playoff picture and just dump gas all over it. And he's like, "We're burning this. Set it on fire."
I mean,
Don't need this anymore.
the best part is because then the 9's in the playoffs, right? The car. And Corey, the driver's in the playoffs. Now, what if Chase doesn't win a race? Chase Elliott is not in the playoffs, so guess what? Guess what NBC is going to push? What standings they're going to show?
They're gonna. Oh my God, the owners' points are gonna become the biggest deal in racing.
Yep.
I want it.
Oh my
Remember how
gosh.
we manifested the rain at Wilkesboro, and then we ended up getting it kind of.
It did happen.
Did too. We actually did, which is nuts.
So
We made that happen.
let's manifest this crackpot theory. We need Corey LaJoy to win
God.
this weekend first,
Yeah.
Right.
or Chase Elliott to get suspended another week or break another leg, or I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
We're gonna have to start like a new game show. Be like, why is Chase Elliott not racing this week?
Which Hendrick driver's out
Yeah.
this month?
I'm
William
waiting for
Byron and
Kyle
Kyle
Larson.
Larson are extremely nervous
will-
right now.
And Joe, I'm sorry. I think this is one of those. I think we leave this in. I will shit if like Chase Elliott goes on vacation, goes skiing, breaks his leg again.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
I would shit.
Well, hang on, because there's no snow, so his week off. Oh man, I was really hoping it would be Sonoma, because then he could go surfing and
Yeah, I
he
was
could
gonna
get,
say
like, attacked by a
wakeboarding.
shark or something.
Whoa!
He'll live, but he'll
Come back with like a
Might-
robotic leg.
might have to miss a race.
Comes back with Carson Hocefar's leg.
Yeah.
My leg.
Oh my god.
Shout out Carson Hocevar. Apparently he's cup ready.
Well, so it was one of those. So when that got announced, I was like, that seems a little like abrupt.
He's managed
but-
by Spire. Like
Yeah, well,
it's-
that's the thing. Is I was thinking, I was like, who else is going to drive that car? Because Xfinity's in Portland, so it has to be a Truck Series guy, and like Spire's just going to pull from their own driver pool. So
Mhm.
I guess it makes sense. I don't know.
Ty Dillon. Oh wait.
God, yeah. What truck?
Yeah, we should get Ty Dillon, and somebody's like, he's already driving one of our cars, and be like, oh, we forgot.
Because it would have had to have been a Chevy driver, right?
Yeah. So what?
Yes.
Grant Enfinger, Raja, Nick Sanchez. Like Grant Enfinger would have been the most.
Matt DiBenedetto.
Matt Di-
they skipped over Matt DiBenedetto. For Carson
Oh my god, they
Hocevar.
did.
It's all part of God's plan, you know.
Oh my god. That's the best thing I've ever seen.
That is
That is kind
Oh,
of
that's-
crazy because
extremely depressing to think about. Yeah. He went
Depressing.
from nearly winning multiple cup races 3 years ago to getting passed over by Hendrick and Spire to sub for
The
for
7 car.
Corey LaJoy and Carson Hocevar.
well, he didn't get passed over by Hendrick. Hendrick would never.
Yeah. But even then, like
Wow.
Corey LaJoy is like completely out of left field almost for Hendrick.
Yeah, but remember when Corey wrote Rick Hendrick that note?
Yeah.
Was it just like screw like please let me drive your race car?
Please, I
Probably.
like
Please.
the number 48's pretty cool.
I really like Jeff Gordon. I also think Jeff Gordon should have 7 championships.
Here's a picture of me in my Go Fast car.
It's like a stick figure
I
drawing of
finished-
him, like next to the 24. He's like- and Rick Hendrick's like, "That's cool, Corey. We'll put it right up here on the fridge."
Jesus. Y'all can be a-holes sometimes, huh?
I love Corey LaJoy. I just think it's funny.
It is.
It is
It
funny.
is. Rick Hendrick looks outside his motorhomes. He's Ty Dillon playing on the playground.
That, or I'm imagining, you know, that famous movie scene where the guy's standing outside the girl's window with a boombox over his head. It was just Corey LaJoy doing that outside Hendrick's shop. I wish I could remember what movie that is right now.
It's a pre-recorded tape of the note where he's
Yeah.
reading it.
That's a good-
Okay, we're gonna move on. Justin
I
Allgaier.
don't care. All of that was hilarious.
Oh, it was
I don't
awesome. We need to move on. Justin Allgaier won.
Who cares? That race finished like 2 a.m. No one watched it.
Yeah, but there was fuel mileage at the end.
Yeah,
Cool.
I
Good
watched
for them. I'm glad. Well, I'm glad you did because it was
Yeah.
your dude.
Yeah.
He went up into the stands too after the race.
Yeah.
He was
Oh
like,
yeah, we didn't even
"What?"
mention that Blaney did that.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Did we?
Did
I thought we did.
We
I don't
didn't. Blaney did it. Justin
Yeah.
Allgaier probably did. And he was like, "Where's everyone go?" Where's everybody at?
No,
All
all the
12
people
fans
kind
that
of
were still there.
congregated around him. They saw him. They were like, "He's right up here. Whoa, let's go."
To
go
be
pat him on the
fair,
back." he went up and went back immediately.
It doesn't take a lot of people, like a large crowd, to like envelop Justin Allgaier because he's a very small man. So
Like
Yeah.
3 guys.
yeah. So yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was a fun race.
Yeah.
Finish was really good.
The
So-
fuel mileage stuff did look fun. I caught the end of it. It was
Yeah,
Good time.
it was fun. Interesting.
Yeah.
What strategies make good racing? Crazy how that works. Ben Rhodes won the truck race, which feels like an eon ago.
God, yeah.
It was a
Jesus.
good
Yeah, I
race.
genuinely forgot there was a truck race this weekend. if
trucks
I'm being
did-
honest.
The truck race was awesome, I thought.
Pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
Um,
Josefar like choked hard. Big
oh
time.
yeah, third year in a row he's
Massive choke.
choked
Yeah.
at Charlotte. So kind of funny. At least this year he didn't take out your favorite driver. So
You're right. 1 year anniversary.
Yeah.
Carson Wiertzevar.
It is really funny to see how things changed in a year.
dude, he was like the darling, and
Dude,
he
yeah.
immediately went to, what is this guy doing?
I've said this multiple times, but it's like he saw Ryan Parese's speech and he was like, "That's gonna be me. I'm gonna become that. I'm gonna prove him right."
Do you remember
Because-
he broke his leg at Gateway, right? Broke his
Yeah.
leg, showed up to crutches in Sonoma, ran qualifying, and binned the truck coming to the checkered of qualifying. Do you remember that? Do you guys remember that?
Mhm.
I do remember.
He
Like,
still
what?
finished like second or third, didn't he, in the race?
No, Suarez
remember-
took over for him.
Yeah.
Did he really? Oh, I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
I remember his Instagram post where he was like, "Please
Yeah.
respect my privacy in these trying times. I will give you an update when I can." And then the next day it was like, "Hey, I'm going to Sonoma." You're like, all right.
Hey, guys.
Cool. That's awesome, man.
Hey
Good
man,
for you.
he's a funny weird guy, you know? He
I
can
wish
be.
he wasn't such a douchey race car driver because he was very funny on the Xfinity broadcast.
Dude, that's the thing that like frustrates me is like I still would consider myself a fan. It doesn't mean I condone all the dumb shit that he does on a
Yeah.
seemingly weekly basis. It's more of just like a come on, dude. Like he has the talent to do it. He doesn't need to do that. Like
That's
I feel like we beat this dead horse all the time, but it's like, Carson, you're a talented race car driver. Like, just drive your race car and stop being an idiot.
yeah.
It's not
And
hard.
he's like a talented race car driver. He doesn't suffer from like the same boring race car driver thing that like most of the other truck series drivers do.
Yeah.
He seems genuinely interesting. He's genuinely funny. He like is a good follow on social media. But then he gets in a race car and he right rears people like 2 years in a row and causes like 4 cautions on purpose by spinning out all by himself. And it's like, well, what are you doing, man? You don't need to be doing all that.
Yeah.
That's too much. It's a bunch of extra stuff when really you have the goods to be like a race winner and B like loved by the fans, and then you just chose to go C where it was like, screw all this, I'm gonna burn it down.
Yeah.
And he burns it down.
And I know this isn't an excuse. I know there's plenty of other people his age, but I do think a genuine part of it is like, young dude, got in a race car, has had a lot of success, but like you look at how many wins have slipped away from them. And so you almost think that like that frustration manifests in a lot of these incidents where it's like, okay, cool, it's not going to happen again. And it takes out on other people. It's just like, it's stupid. He just needs to be better. But at the same time, like this weekend is a huge opportunity to wipe all that away. Like if he goes out there and runs top 20 in a Spire car, you almost seem that a lot of people are going to be like, hey, this Carson Wiertzevar kid might be kind of good.
Even top 25 no incidents I think is a fantastic weekend for him.
Top 10 in the 77. I know it's a JRM car in Xfinity, but
Oh yeah, he's run
That's
great in Xfinity
impressive, right?
too. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It's
just
it's
win
frustrating.
and don't
'cause
make an ass of yourself. It's
Yeah.
that simple. That's all you gotta do in the
It'll
truck
Be
series.
boring.
So sometimes it's okay to not be on TV. if sometimes you can just run a race and finish like 6th and nobody notices you, it's all right.
He's a Michigan
know?
State fan though, so like,
It
he's my Michigan
always
driver.
comes back to college sports.
And my college is just college is not even sports. Come on, In my Michigan
Yeah.
driver list, it's Eric Jones, Brad Keselowski, Carson Oswald. Johnny Benson's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
List ain't looking good.
What do you mean? Wait a minute. Wait a
What?
minute.
Maybe I think we're grading on a curve here, though. Let's be real. So.
Listen, it ain't my fault Legacy sucks. Ain't my fault that Davey's been apparently propping this deal up for a year and a half now, wearing his Toyota merch all the time.
Dude, we got to talk about that. Legacy had a disaster class of a race. That was unbelievable.
They didn't even mention Eric going to the garage. I was like, wait, he's in the garage? When did this happen?
Oh my god. I was it sucks too because I was kind of keeping track of Jimmy. Obviously, you know, as a Jimmy Johnson fan, I am going to offer my little insight into the one driver in the race that I was paying attention to because that's what people want to hear. Jimmy, he was, you know, he got himself up from like he started scratching on the field. He was running like 25th. You know, I was like, okay, there you
It's a
go.
legacy car.
Respectable. And then it just all went to hell. He spun out, wrecked with Gregson. Gregson and Eric Jones somehow hit the same piece of debris that knocked the radiator off. How? How do you knock it off? Okay, you put a hole in it. Like, did they hit a skyscraper? Knocked it
I
off?
don't know what they're doing over there.
What happened?
I'm so confused. I am so scared for the future of that race team.
They're gonna go to Toyota. It's gonna be good.
They're gonna
I
go to
just
Toyota,
imagine-
and the lineup will be Noah Gragson and Sammy Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby. Eric Jones is gonna go Xfinity racing.
It's going to be replacing Corey LaJoy after Corey LaJoy replaces Chase Elliott next year.
Chase Elliott is gonna become a professional skier.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
gonna
snowboarding
get-
wasn't working out.
He's going to the
Oh.
X Games.
No, yeah, I was like angry. Now I'm pretty sure I had drank a beer at that point, but I was like angry when Eric was out. I was like, what the? Now I got to root for Brad. And then like not even 10 laps later, or like a little bit later, right? Brad had they didn't tighten the wheels, so they brought him down, and then he was like down 2 laps the whole race. It was like,
I
almost-
know how it feels to be a fan of any of my drivers the last like 5
well,
years.
yeah.
I almost forgot to mention JJ Ailey P16 in a Rick Ware car also.
I love the Coca-Cola 600, man.
Dude, it's so good. The one
Things
thing
happen.
that I'm bummed is, do you guys remember when Justin Haley used to go by JJ and then he started going by Justin? So,
Yeah.
well, Justin Haley finished 15th, Yaley finished 16th. How I wish he was still going by JJ, because it would have been JJ Haley followed by JJ Yaley, one right after the other. So
I hate you.
I legit thought they were 2 different people when he changed his
yeah.
name.
Oh yeah,
I was like, where did this guy come from?
Yeah, the Haley brothers, huh? All
Because you
right.
never saw their pic. Like he was in the truck series. Like I didn't see his picture. They didn't show his
Yeah.
picture on the screen.
He's
He
probably
ran
too
like
small.
2 races under the name JJ, and then
Yeah.
it's like, actually no, it's an extremely obscure music reference, and I'm not gonna make it because I'll have to explain too much of
Good.
it. But
Good. Yeah. We're
Thank you.
thank you.
Moving on.
We have new merch.
oh yeah,
If I wasn't lazy, I'd put it. Actually, I might put a picture here. Eat, sleep, overreact,
put
repeat.
it right here. No, put it over here.
Gonna make work for me now. I gotta write down a time code. If you're listening to this has nothing. Apparently, you don't. Just go to the JTN merch store. JTN merch store. Just search it on the web. You can find it. JTN merch store. Maybe Davey will make a tweet with it. I don't know, at Fake Racers, but
I certainly could.
he could.
I
Now,
could.
Willie. That's a question.
Willie. He said Willie.
Anyways, go check it out because you're a racing fan, and we're gonna start posting a lot of generic crap to try to get people to buy our merch. So,
Yeah.
got our logo on it. That's kind of cool.
I need
What
to
more
just-
could you want?
I gotta buckle in and buy. I've been saying it for a while. I just need to buckle in and do it. I gotta buy.
I need
some
to just
stuff.
buy you guys our JTN polos that I keep talking about.
That'd be pretty cool.
Truck Series is at Gateway this weekend. You guys got in the Truck Series?
I have the entry list already open.
Let me
Okay.
pull that up. Um. Oh yeah, that's right. Chris Wright's not on the entry list. We didn't even talk about that.
Do we
Chris
know
Wright's
why?
crew chief telling him he probably got fired because he's terrible.
Wait, Chris Wright got fired?
Probably.
Isn't that his own team?
No, he drives for Young's.
Oh, okay.
What
That's
does
funny.
Chris crew chief say? I need to hear
When
this. I didn't know
he
that.
put Tyler Ankrum into the wall and then just kept coming up and then wrecked himself, and then his spotter was like,
Yes.
"Yep, Ankrum hooked you into the wall. Go put him in the grandstands."
Oh,
It's
I'm
like,
gonna go
wow.
with Raja, by the way.
okay. All right. He did good here last year in that Spire truck.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we dunked on him, I'm gonna go with Matt Benedetto just to immediately prove me wrong. So
Okay. I'm going to take Grant Enfinger, so we were 23, 24, 25.
Oh.
Perfect. God.
I'm going to pick first for Xfinity. I'm going to take Jordan Taylor.
Boo.
Let's see, who do I want?
I'm letting Matt go.
I know.
I'm not gonna take Parker Kligerman if you want him.
I didn't say that.
He's not going to take him.
I'm gonna go with.
Honestly, it doesn't matter who we pick.
I'm gonna. Oh, hey, Mayat's running the 19.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll take John Hunter.
Parker
Boo.
Kligerman.
Oh, we did take him.
Ooh, there was a curveball there.
The NTT Data IndyCar Series heads to the streets of Detroit, not Belle Isle, for the first time in ever, probably.
Streets.
Don't forget, we got the zipper pit lane this week. Get cars
yeah.
pitting on both sides.
So
Stingray Rob.
I was gonna say my
Oh my
Stingray Rob
God.
picks have gone horrendously. So
Okay,
I'm not
can we
taking
talk
them.
about his interview?
Dude?
What
You
the
certainly can.
hell was that?
All I
You
can say
certainly
is
can.
that
I know who wrecked me. Do you?
I know a lot.
She looked pretty clueless out there, honestly. So I didn't know you knew where you were.
I know a lot of people who have moved to Idaho, and let me just say that he is a very good representation of the people from Idaho, or people that move there.
Jesus.
And I don't mean that in necessarily a bad way. He's just interesting. Somebody posted the transcript of a full interview he did. Did you guys see that? Where everybody's kind of suspected that he's Mormon. He's actually Christian, but he was saying that there's not a lot of Christians in motorsports, and it was like, dog, like half of the NASCAR field thanks God every time they finish a race. Like, what sport are you watching?
What are you talking about,
Dog,
bud?
what? Like,
Get a grip.
I would also like to point out this is not a criticism of either religion, just a funny observation. There's a lot of Christians,
We
especially
made
in a
fun of
sport.
Matt DiBenedetto when he said something similar.
Yeah, true, but
Believe it or not, NASCAR fanhood
racing.
and drivers in the industry, there are a lot of Christians.
Davey, you're telling
I
me
don't
that
know
a
if you-
sport based out of the southeastern United States is mostly conservative Christian?
That may sound crazy, but yes, I am.
Next, you'll be telling me that Jeff Gordon doesn't have such.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Matt, who's your IndyCar pick?
Pato Award.
We are horrendous. This is a horrendous show.
I'm
I'm
feeling
gonna-
extra goofy this week.
I'm
going
going to take Scotty Mac.
This is a horrendous show.
I get the other bus bro a win now.
Yeah.
They both have 2 on the year. And then the NASCAR Cup Series is at Gateway for the second time. Who wants to take Corey LaJoy?
I'll take Corey LaJoy. Give him to me. It's gonna happen.
Ew, why is Greg Galding in the 15 car?
Do you want Greg? Well, because they probably had to put whoever was in the 15 car in the 51 car. Because who's in the 51?
Oh yeah, it is JJ Ailey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boobs. In this entry list, Corey LaJoy is still in the 7 car. Does that mean I can pick Corey LaJoy?
Yeah, do you want to pick the 7?
Yeah, Corey LaJoy in the number 7 car. No. No. No.
Wait.
I want to do something else stupid. Hold on.
Okay.
I want to do something else stupid. Austin Dillon.
How is that stupid?
Because he sucks. He's no Kyle Busch.
He's no Kyle Busch. I don't think anyone ever accused him of being Kyle Busch.
I hope not.
I'm gonna take Brad because I think they ran here last year, so maybe they win this year. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. As a Fake Racers podcast this week.
That was certainly one of them.
As always, folks, we can't thank you enough for listening, watching, however you support us and our raging alcoholism.
All right. I had a beer tonight.
It was more so just because I just saw you do it, you know?
Yeah, I guess.
I was gonna say I'm sober, so like I have no excuse for the stupidity of this week's episode. So
yeah, see, I have an excuse. That's why I do it.
Make sure you leave a like, a comment, a review, however you can. Interact with this, interact with it. Those interactions mean a lot in the current social media and landscape, and YouTube is social media, believe it or not.
Elon said that crap's important, so go do it.
You can follow at Fake Racers to stay up to date with Fake Racers podcast centric stuff. Davey's gonna live tweet the race this weekend, from the Fake Racers account.
What am I doing?
You're live tweeting the race this weekend from the Fake Racers account.
Breaking news: Davey Hazard live tweets race.
Just like you were last week, right?
Obviously. Did you guys not see the tweets?
So make sure you're following at Fake Racers, and if you didn't see the tweets and you are following Fake Racers, just make sure you like the last tweet, just to be sure.
You should do what our boy over at Awful Racing has been doing, and just live tweet, but a race from like 2008.
Davey Hazard retweets 2016 Homestead.
I would.
Do it.
Okay. I'm just gonna, for every lap of the race, I'm just gonna tweet out what position Jimmy Johnson was in. How's that?
Do it. I don't care. Just make
Second
sure you
class
start it by
restart,
saying,
like-
I'm live retweeting. I'm watching the 2016 Homestead race.
You get to the end, you're like, Carl Edwards wrecked. Oh my god, who could have seen this coming? Hopefully next year's better for him. Just like
Carl Edwards has a long career left. He's still not even in his prime.
He's got a
fast
lot of
forward
time.
7 years, and we're like, oh my god, it's Carl Edwards.
Still
I haven't
as
seen him in years.
Still as slimy looking as ever.
Joe, it was 13 years ago. You're gonna have to move
He ain't gonna kill my boy.
Brad, I think Brad
No
won that
way.
battle. Okay.
He ain't gonna kill my boy.
No way, man.
You don't know that. I'm not gonna. Nope. You know what? Nope.
What do you mean I
Hey,
don't know that? One
hey,
of them
guess
has a
what?
cup championship and the
Hey.
other one doesn't.
Hey, you bastards! Guess what? Be like Davey Hazard. Be like Davey Hazard. Go to the JTN Spring website and get yourself some JTN merch like I did just now while we were having the show and you guys were arguing about piddly stuff. I was out there making a difference in the community.
Thanks, Davey. We
Just
appreciate your
alley-oop that right into
contribution.
an ad read.
Remember, we got new Fake Racers merch out now. Davey, where can they find you on social media?
JTN Spring.
All right. Matt, where can they find you on social media?
What he said.
You pointed at me.
What he said. I pointed at Davey on my end. Whatever. Just flip my screen from that part.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, do a lot of editing. Cut him out. Do that thing. Turn it around.
Flip my video for 1 second on the show.
Yeah, it'd be funny.
Joe, can you animate us for the whole show?
Yeah. Hey, I still like my idea of us green screening us into like a car at a pit stop. So,
I have an idea.
ooh.
We should green screen each other, but into each of our own, like switch our rooms. Like I get Joe's room, Matt gets mine.
I was thinking about that. Have you guys ever seen that like famous video where the guy makes his Zoom background of his room where he walks in on himself?
Yeah,
Yes.
And I thought about doing that for this, buying a green screen and taking a picture of it.
Don't you have a
So
green screen?
I don't.
Oh. Well, there's
I
a-
just-
oh, Tommy has a green screen.
Yeah.
yeah. Tommy has a green screen.
Just borrow Tommy's. You guys live in the
He
same
is.
state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drive like 6 hours and go find Tommy.
For
There
a
you go.
$20 green screen.
Yeah. Amazon could probably deliver it faster.
Their next day. But folks, again, we appreciate you so much. We've gotten a lot of support on this show this year, which is awesome. More than we have in the
Idiots.
past.
What a bunch of morons.
So we really, I appreciate it. Keeps me going every week.
I appreciate it too, but you're dumb. There's better shows. Why listen to us?
So yeah, go listen, watch, do all those things. Again, it's much appreciated when you do. And yeah, I don't have anything else. We'll see you guys next week on the Fake Racers podcast.
Bye.